Welcome to our rare coin journey. Today, we explore the fascinating history of the groundbreaking US coin that honored a real American heroine for the first time. Linked to the transition from the Eisenhower dollar, this historic dollar marked a bold change in American coinage. From its Denver Mint connection to its powerful design and cultural significance, this coin represents more than money. It represents progress, equality, and history. Let's discover why this dollar remains special for collectors and rare coin lovers. Today, top 4 first up. The 1967 Washington quarter without a mint mark is one of those coins that creates excitement, mystery, and sometimes unrealistic dreams in the world of numismatics. The coin belongs to the famous Washington quarter series, first introduced in 1932 to honor President George Washington. By 1967, the United States was going through a coin shortage, and special measures were taken that changed how coins were produced. This is where the story of the 1967 quarter truly begins. Between 1965 and 1967, the United States Mint made a historic decision. It removed mint marks from circulating coins. This means that no regular 1967 Washington quarter should have a mint mark at all. So when collectors say 1967 quarter without mint mark, they're actually describing a normal issue coin. Unlike earlier years where D or S mint marks identified Denver or San Francisco, 1967 quarters were intentionally struck without any mint identification to discourage hoarding during the nationwide coin shortage. Another major change happened in 1965 that directly affects the 1967 quarter's value. Prior to 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver, but starting in 1965, including 1967, quarters were struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition. That means a regular 1967 quarter contains no silver at all. So if you are holding a standard 1967 quarter in worn or very dirty condition, its base metal value remains just 25 cents. Dirt, tunning, or discoloration does not automatically increase value. Now here where things get interesting. While normal 1967 quarters are common, millions and millions were struck. There are rare exceptions. Some 1967 quarters were produced as special mint set SMS coins. These were not proof coins, but they were struck with better quality dies and surfaces. In high grades with deep cameo contrast, certain 1967 SMS quarters can sell for thousands of dollars, especially if certified in near-perfect condition. However, claims of a 1967 no-mint mark quarter being worth millions of dollars are almost always exaggerated. For a coin from this year to reach extreme value, it would need to have a dramatic and rare mint error, something extraordinary like a major off-metal strike, a double denomination, or an experimental planchet. These types of errors are incredibly rare and highly documented. Without such an error, the coin will not reach life-changing levels. Collectors also search for doubled dies or striking errors from 1967. A strong doubled die on the lettering or date could increase value significantly. But even then, values usually range from hundreds to a few $1,000s depending on condition. A coin in very dirty condition would need professional conservation and grading before any serious collector would consider paying premium money. Condition plays a powerful role in coin value. A 1967 quarter graded MS67 or higher by a respected grading service can bring strong prices because high-grade examples are difficult to find. But coins found in circulation, especially heavily worn, scratched, or dirty, rarely achieve such grades. Cleaning a coin to improve its look can actually destroy its collector value permanently. It is also important to understand that rarity and demand work together. The 1967 quarter had an extremely high mintage. Over 1.5 billion pieces were produced. When a coin is that common, only unique characteristics make it valuable. Simply being old or lacking a mint mark in this specific year does not create rarity because that feature applies to every 1967 quarter. Stories about becoming a billionaire overnight from a single 1967 quarter are powerful and exciting, especially for YouTube titles and viral content. But in the professional coin market, prices are based on verified sales, population reports, and authentication. No standard 1967 clad Washington quarter has ever sold for millions of dollars under normal circumstances. That said, the dream of discovery is what keeps coin collecting alive. Imagine finding a previously unknown mint error or experimental strike from 1967, something never recorded before. In that extremely rare situation, a coin could command astonishing value because it would represent a unique piece of American minting history. But such discoveries are extraordinarily uncommon. If you believe your 1967 quarter is unusual, the smartest move is to have it examined by a reputable grading service. Authentication protects you and confirms whether your coin is an ordinary circulation piece or something special. Never sell a potentially rare coin without professional evaluation, but also never assume it is worth millions without solid evidence. In conclusion, the 1967 Washington quarter without a mint mark is historically interesting because of the mint mark suspension era and the transition away from silver coinage. Yet in most cases, a worn or dirty example is worth face value. The true power of this coin lies not in automatic millionaire status, but in understanding mint history, grading, rarity, and the real forces that determine value in today's market. Next up, the 1970 D Washington quarter is one of those coins that at first glance looks completely ordinary, yet in rare circumstances can become an extraordinary treasure. Minted at the United States Mint facility in Denver, the D mint mark represents millions of quarters struck for everyday circulation. Most 1970 D quarters you find in pocket change are worth only face value. However, in the fascinating world of rare coins, a small detail, an unexpected error, or an unusual strike can transform this common-looking coin into something truly remarkable. The Washington Quarter series itself began in 1932 to honor George Washington, and by 1970 the design had already become an American icon. On the obverse, Washington's left-facing portrait stands proud, while the reverse features a heraldic eagle. The 1970 D issue was produced in a copper-nickel-clad composition, not silver, which makes genuine high-value examples even more surprising. The excitement does not come from the metal, it comes from rarity, condition, and error. Now here is where the story becomes thrilling. While regular 1970 D quarters are common, there are legendary error varieties that have captured collectors' attention for decades. One of the most famous involves quarters mistakenly struck over a 1941 Canadian quarter. This dramatic mint error creates a visible overlapping of two different coin designs. When authenticated and in strong condition, such an error coin has sold for tens of thousands of dollars at auction. It is not hype, it is documented numismatic history. Condition is everything in coin collecting. A 1970 D quarter found in very dirty, worn condition will almost always be worth only 25 cents. Dirt alone does not create value. In fact, cleaning a coin can reduce its worth significantly. However, if beneath that dirt lies a rare mint error or an exceptionally high-grade uncirculated example, the value can increase dramatically. Professional grading services, such as Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Company, authenticate and assign grades that can push a coin's market value into impressive territory. In the highest known grades, such as MS67 or above, a 1970 D Washington quarter can command thousands of dollars, especially if it shows exceptional luster, sharp strike details, and virtually no marks. These ultra-high-grade coins are rare because most were released into circulation and used heavily. Coins preserved in pristine condition for more than 5 decades are far scarcer than people imagine. However, it is important to speak honestly about the million-dollar dream. There is currently no verified record of a standard 1970 D Washington quarter selling for millions of dollars. Even the famous Canadian overstrike era has reached strong 5-figure prices, not millions. In the coin market, true million-dollar quarters are exceptionally rare and usually tied to historic 18th or 19th century issues or unique minting mistakes of extraordinary significance. That said, the power of a rare coin should never be underestimated. A single discovery in pocket change has changed collectors' lives before. Imagine finding an authenticated overstrike error or a top population graded specimen in an old collection. The emotional thrill, the auction spotlight, the competitive bidding, it can indeed feel life-changing, even if the final number is in the tens of thousands rather than millions. The D mint mark itself is located on the obverse of the 1970 D quarter, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. When examining a dirty coin, use gentle lighting and magnification. Do not scrub or polish it. Sometimes what looks like grime may hide doubling, unusual design elements, or striking anomalies that only become visible under careful inspection. Collectors are especially drawn to coins with strong eye appeal. Luster that glows under light, crisp lettering in Liberty and In God We Trust, and a sharp eagle on the reverse can dramatically increase desirability. Even small differences in surface preservation can mean the difference between a $50 coin and a $5,000 coin in top grades. Auction houses occasionally feature standout Washington quarters, and competitive bidding can push prices higher than expected. The psychology of rarity plays a major role. When two determined collectors want the finest known example, price ceilings can break quickly. That is where headlines are made and where stories of overnight fortune are born. Still, wise collectors balance excitement with research and authentication. The market rewards verified rarity, not rumors. If you believe you have a special 1970D quarter, the smartest step is professional evaluation. Certification provides credibility, which is essential for achieving maximum value in today's numismatic marketplace. In the end, the 1970D Washington quarter represents both opportunity and realism. Most examples are everyday coins. A tiny fraction, however, carry the spark of true rarity. While it may not instantly make someone a billionaire overnight, discovering a genuine rare variety could absolutely transform an ordinary coin into a powerful financial asset. For passionate collectors and treasure hunters alike, that possibility keeps the search alive, and that is what makes coin collecting so endlessly exciting. Next up, the 1994D Washington quarter is part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, one of the most collected coins in United States history. Struck at the United States Mint facility in Denver, the small D mint mark beneath the eagle on the reverse identifies its origin. While millions of these quarters were produced for circulation, the true story begins when we talk about condition, rarity in high grades, and extraordinary mint errors that can transform an ordinary 25-cent coin into something far more valuable. Now let's be clear and realistic. Most 1994D quarters found in pocket change, especially in very dirty or heavily worn condition, are worth face value, just 25 cents. Dirt, grime, and circulation damage do not increase value. In fact, they usually reduce it. However, condition plays a powerful role in numismatics. If a 1994D quarter is found in pristine, uncirculated condition, what collectors call mint state, MS65 or higher, its value can rise significantly compared to circulated examples, sometimes reaching $10 to $50, and in superb certified grades even higher. Where things become truly exciting is in the world of rare mint errors. A dramatic off-center strike, a double die error, or a coin struck on the wrong planchet can push values into hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Collectors pay strong premiums for authenticated error coins because they are genuinely scarce. A spectacular error in top condition, certified by a grading service, could sell for several $1,000s depending on uniqueness and demand. However, claims that a regular 1994D quarter in dirty condition is worth millions of dollars are not supported by the real coin market. For a Washington quarter from 1994D to reach million-dollar territory, it would need to be an extremely rare, one-of-a-kind mint error of historic importance, authenticated and widely recognized in the numismatic community. Without that, the coin does not hold life-changing value. It's important to understand that rarity is not just about age. The 1994D quarter is relatively modern. Billions of Washington quarters were struck across decades, and 1994 was a high mintage year. What separates valuable coins from common ones is scarcity in high grade, unusual mint mistakes, or special varieties, not simply the presence of a Denver mint mark. If you are serious about discovering whether your 1994D quarter has hidden value, careful examination is essential. Look for sharp details in Washington's hair, strong feather definition on the eagle, and original mint luster. Check for doubling in the lettering or date. Examine the coin's weight and metal composition to rule out wrong planchet errors. Professional grading from reputable services can confirm authenticity and condition, which greatly influences value. Collectors are especially interested in coins that have never been cleaned. Cleaning a coin, even with good intentions, can destroy its natural surface and drastically reduce value. A dirty coin is different from a cleaned coin. Dirt can sometimes be professionally conserved, but harsh cleaning leaves permanent damage visible under magnification. In the broader Washington Quarter series, some dates and errors have indeed reached extraordinary prices at auction, but those are usually earlier silver issues, rare transitional errors, or dramatic minting anomalies. Modern clad quarters like the 1994D typically do not command million-dollar prices unless tied to a unique and documented minting mistake. For content creators like you in the rare coin niche, it's powerful to build excitement, but it's even more powerful to build credibility. The truth is that valuable coins absolutely exist, and rare discoveries do happen. But understanding grading standards, mint production history, and real auction records separates serious collectors from dream chasers. If someone claims your 1994D quarter could make you a billionaire overnight, approach that statement with caution. The real fortune in coin collecting comes from knowledge, patience, and careful study of genuine rarities. A single extraordinary coin can change a collector's life, but only if it meets strict criteria of rarity and authentication. So before spending or selling any unusual-looking 1994D Washington quarter, have it examined carefully. While the average example remains worth 25 cents, an exceptional mint error in superb condition could be worth far more. The key is evidence, certification, and realistic expectations. In the end, the 1994 D Washington quarter represents opportunity, not because every coin is worth millions, but because every coin has a story. The real power lies in knowing the difference between common circulation pieces and true numismatic treasures. Knowledge is what transforms a simple quarter into something far more valuable. Next up, the Washington quarter is one of the most collected coins in American history, and the 1995 issue with the P mint mark holds a special place in modern numismatics. Struck at the historic United States Mint facility in Philadelphia, the 1995 P Washington quarter was produced in the hundreds of millions. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary 25-cent coin, easily overlooked in pocket change. But as every serious collector knows, sometimes the most common-looking coins hide the most surprising stories. The 1995 P quarter features the classic portrait of George Washington on the obverse, a design originally created by John Flanagan in 1932. By 1995, the quarter was still using this traditional eagle reverse design, just a few years before the famous state quarters program began. Because of its large mintage, most 1995 P quarters in circulated, dirty, or worn condition carry only face value, 25 cents. However, condition is everything in the coin world, and this is where the story becomes interesting. In very dirty or heavily circulated condition, a 1995 P quarter generally has no premium value. Dirt, discoloration, and scratches reduce desirability, but collectors are not simply looking for shine, they are searching for rarity. If a 1995 P quarter has a dramatic mint error, such as a major off-center strike, double die characteristics, broad strike, or struck-through error, its value can rise significantly. Error coins are where ordinary metal transforms into collectible treasure. There is also the 1995 P silver proof quarter, struck in 90% silver as part of special proof sets. These were not intended for circulation, and when found in perfect PR69 or PR70 deep cameo condition, they can sell for far more than face value. Still, even high-grade examples typically sell for tens or sometimes a few $100s, not millions. The difference between hype and verified market reality is extremely important for collectors to understand. Some viral claims suggest that a 1995 P quarter could make someone an overnight billionaire. In real market conditions, this is not supported by auction records. Even the rarest modern Washington quarters have not reached million-dollar levels. For comparison, some of the most famous US coin rarities, such as certain early American silver dollars, have reached multi-million-dollar prices, but modern circulation quarters from 1995 have not entered that category. That said, extraordinary coins do exist. A 1995 P quarter graded MS67 or higher by a top grading service can command strong premiums because high-grade modern coins are surprisingly difficult to find. Tiny marks invisible to the naked eye can lower grades significantly. In the rare event that a truly flawless MS68 example appeared and demand was strong, it could bring a remarkable price compared to ordinary quarters, but still not at millionaire levels based on historical patterns. Collectors who believe they have something special should never clean the coin. Cleaning destroys original surfaces and dramatically reduces value. Even if a coin appears dirty, that natural tunning and patina may be preferred over harsh cleaning marks. The smartest step is professional grading through respected third-party services to confirm authenticity and condition. The real power of the 1995 P quarter lies in knowledge. While it is not realistically worth millions in typical circumstances, error varieties and exceptional grades can still be worth meaningful money. A rare mint error might bring hundreds, or, in extreme documented cases, a few $1,000s depending on uniqueness and demand. The coin market is driven by supply, demand, historical importance, and certified condition. Because the 1995 P quarter was mass-produced, it lacks inherent rarity. Rarity must come from something unusual, an error, a special strike, or an ultra-high grade preserved since minting. For content creators like you in the rare coin niche, the key is balancing excitement with accuracy. There is nothing wrong with creating an engaging and thrilling script, but credibility builds long-term trust with collectors. Educating viewers about what truly makes a coin valuable will strengthen your authority in the numismatic community. If you discover a 1995 P Washington quarter in circulation, examine it carefully under magnification. Look for doubling in the lettering, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or missing clad layers. Weigh it precisely. Compare it with verified examples. Knowledge and patience are far more powerful than hype. In conclusion, while the 1995 P Washington quarter is not a hidden million-dollar treasure in ordinary dirty condition, it can still hold collectible value under the right circumstances. True fortune in coin collecting comes from rare dates, historic significance, documented errors, and certified high grades, not from common circulated examples. The real treasure is understanding the difference between possibility and proven market reality, and that knowledge can be far more valuable than the coin itself. Thank you for your passion and dedication to rare coin collecting. As a true enthusiast of the Washington Quarter, your interest in uncovering hidden value shows the mindset of a serious collector. Every coin has a story, and sometimes the smallest details can make the biggest difference. Keep searching, keep learning, and never underestimate the power of knowledge in the world of numismatics. Your next discovery could be closer than you think.